Well, that sky looks better than it did a couple hours ago, but it dampened overnight. Oh yeah, guys, say good morning to him again. Looks like he's moved a little more. Looking a little perkier. And you got the others hiding in the chute here. Yeah, they're getting in there just because we didn't hang the other gate and swing the one that's hanging outside across the hole. They're enjoying it. They go in there late, they get around. So, freezing my butt off this morning. Literally. Yesterday, 79. This morning, but it was 46, I think, when I come out. And I made most of my rounds. Been on the phone. I just didn't get out here earlier. I usually start out here, but I didn't start out here this morning. Of course, none of these cows are in the barn. They were all out here. Actually, out here and in the lot. I was kind of surprised with the dampness that there were so many that were bedded down outside. But, you know, they do that. Yeah, I don't see nothing going on out here. Should run into that bale, though. They don't need to be wasting it. But if I don't fill every feeder, then they fight and waste even more. A couple of greasy butts right there. Hi, greasy butt. And a milk nose. Yeah, nothing going on. And yeah, I'd flip this thing around for you, but I gotta shut it off to do that, I think. Yeah, it's chilly, so I gotta wear my new coat. Eyes are watering too. A little wind in them. Oh, there, turn you this way, I guess now. Ain't much of a sunrise. Just a bright spot. See where the sun's at. Oh, anyway, not sure what today's gonna bring. Like every day. But I thought I'd show my face again. The IA farmer, he finally showed his. Oh my god. It was cute because he put 2 videos up. One from when he was a wee little one. And then he showed his face today. Every day. But I just got done watching BCP farming and trucking. That's one reason, hey, I had to prove it. I got to wear this coat this morning. It's chilly. And of course, Brendan walked around the whole time with it. Wait, we did get to see cows a couple of times. Most of the time it was Brendan's ugly mug. He knows I'm flicking him shit. That's my eyeball is really watering. Dang. Anyway, I'll bring you back. I finally get around to feeding, and look who's getting his breakfast. Yeah. I'm good with that. I'll hold off on feeding her grain here for a minute or two. I'll finish feeding everybody else first. That'll piss her off, but he's kind of a noisy eater. A little different noise though. Most of them, when they're a noisy eater, you hear him. It's more of a kind of like, oh, taking a damn figure and rubbing it on a balloon or something. Interesting. May have something to do with his weird tongue. He's got a weird lump at the back of it. And these girls, I mean, I'm looking at one like that one with the calf nursing on her. I think that one there's the token pregnant one in here, but that little cow there, she's just, the freaking worms hit them. It's bad enough they got a calf nursing on them and they need more, but especially the young ones. And yep, I was right. That one's the token pregnant one of the pen. But all of them are getting thinner than I like. Even quite a few of these girls, except for the ones that are pregnant, but even then, you know. And I don't know how this little girl here, she does it. That hump in her back. I don't know. I mean, she didn't have it when she was younger. You know, did the bull knock her out of whack? Did she slip and fall? Who knows? But she still gets around and puts good calves on the ground. Doesn't seem to be bothering her. Oh well. I better feed them before they get upset with me and jump up here and attack. Wouldn't you know it, they all had the zoomies while I was still dumping feed in the feeder. Now, what that one's intently looking at must not have been so important. Probably watching a bird. That one I just out of the gate, though, having fun. That hump right there gives them a good spot to play and rub. As these other two are like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Silly buggers. I'm thinking there's still a few out in the feed barn because there's nobody in here to speak of. Well, I was going to try to get something on video here, but they're not in here yet. There's one. I don't know if you saw it or not. It came in and went around that pole. The swallows are back. Just in time, too. They weren't here yesterday, but they're here today. I can start getting these little bugs. There's a whole little passel of no-see-ums right here. There's another one right there. I'm going to avoid them. I don't feel like getting them in my eyeballs or breathing them, you know. So, cool. It's been a morning. Treated 023's calf for a navel infection because we're not sure if it's a navel infection or a hernia because it doesn't act like a hernia, but it doesn't act like a navel infection either. And the vet won't be able to get out till next week to do anything if it is a hernia. And she's running a temp, therefore she got antibiotics. And finally getting duals on this thing. These duals have not been on for 5, 6, 7, 10, maybe 8 years. Because the main two fieldwork tractors are the 3394 and the 5288, but with the hydraulics not working on the 5288, this one gets to go to work. Planting's much slower. Literally, the 3394 plants at least twice as fast as this will. But it's going to take some time for her to be discing ahead of me anyway, so I'll probably maybe sort of keep up. Had to take a tap and clean out the holes in the hubs. That was fun. I went to just run a bolt in. I threw some fluid film on a bolt, figured I'd run it in, clean them out. No, the bolt went halfway in and stopped. So, finally found a tap. They're 5/8 fine thread. No big deal. The bitch is the only thing I really had to run that tap in with, besides by hand, is sitting right there. Which I didn't want to use that, but I did carefully. Oh, both sides are cleaned out. The nice thing on these wheels, it's an automotive style bolt. It's a tapered, so you get two in and everything else is on all the others. They're a bolt with a washer, so you got to get all of them started. But there's our mover. In case anybody hadn't seen it, you can turn one way or the other to line the holes up. Usually I can wiggle the loader back and forth and get it to turn it up. Yeah, I didn't want to work on this one. And I think we're going to get, it's been one of those days, coat 5 minutes, coats off for, coats on for 20, off for 5. Freaking awesome. Not doing anybody any good, but anywho, one side's done. Well, if you know, you know. Nice thing about loader tires, eventually it takes the Schrader valve out and they leak. And you go to put air in and then they're worse. So checking tires on the 2294. One I knew was low, the other one wasn't as low. And the wind's going to pick back up again. It's kind of rattling some things. Just a wee bit. Tylen's trying to go over the lawn again with the lawnmower. She might get blown away. Jesus. And yeah, that's the whole barn rattling. Whole shot. Anyway, this is the one I replaced out of the two back ones. That O-ring's fine. Wasn't leaking there. It's just the Schrader. So I'm going to pull the Schrader and replace it. I like a little bit of this. I'll smear it on the Schrader before I put it in. I'll smear it on this O-ring too. It'll not only lubricate these threads and keep them from getting corroded, but the O-ring will seal back up better. And I don't have any new O-rings. They got kind of hard to get here a couple years ago. And this one's getting kind of thin here, but it's smooth, so this may have been made that way. A lot of them are more rounded, more meat there. But it'll work. Both front ones, I took the caps off, and both caps have liquid in them, so I'm not even going to mess with them. Somebody might say, well, just change the Schrader with it in place. That is one way to get you a face full of shit. If you change the whole deal, you get the one out, get your finger over it, get the other one ready, put it in. Sometimes you don't even lose but 2 or 3 drops. If you pull the Schrader and try to get another Schrader into it, you'll lose too much. So I'll just put a new one in this, go swap them. Then do the same thing for the other side as long as the body's in good shape on the other one. If not, I do have a couple new ones left. Really quick, can you see the one I just took out? I'll give you a hint. Oop. Ah! It's not this one. It's not this one. The end's gone. Even though they're all stainless, the only reason this one was staying sealed up is because the cap was on tight enough. And luck of the draw, I guess. There, I got it to focus. I put both of them together. Neither one of those is any good. One of them's obviously a little deficient. This one, don't know why it's leaking. But it was, so it's gone. And it didn't work out too bad. I had one used rebuilt unit to put in, and I did a quick rebuild on the next 2. So in the end, I've got another rebuilt one sitting in the drawer. Didn't have to touch my new ones this time. But yeah, I got 2 more to do on that tractor. I gotta check the duals. They shouldn't be bad because they're dry. They're not loaded. And anybody that messes with these, you can get these focus either silver, we'll do this again, like these, or they'll be brass. Brass ones don't like calcium chloride very well. The body's brass and it holds up pretty good, but a brass Schrader valve in it, nah, they fall apart. And unfortunately, there for a long time, new ones were coming with brass Schrader valves in them. So we learned that one a long time ago. The other thing is, that cap was on one. I won't put a plastic cap on one of those. Because if you do get one like this one, that most of the guts are out of it, and it wants to leak through, that plastic won't hold very much pressure. They say, oh, it's made to hold. Nah. Usually what'll happen is a year or 2, especially if these things hit the sun, they'll crack. Then that pressure hits them and they're gone. And next thing you know, you don't see it, but you got a tire pissing all over everything. So I always use a stainless cap and make sure they're clean. If I did have a leaker, I'll wash the cap out with fluid film and blow it out good. And then I usually put Vaseline over the opening of the cap when I put it on, so there's Vaseline inside it to help protect it. And it'll be on the threads when it goes on, so you're not going to corrode on. Anyway, that's my story on quick tire valve replacement. I tell you gotta be quick when you switch them. And I got lucky on the 3 I did do. You always want to put the valve stem to the highest point so that hopefully you're into air and not water. And most of the time our tires are a little over full with fluid, meaning that it's actually above the wheel. And I got lucky. It was just air behind each one of them. The other trick I do before I try to pull it out, run a little air through it, because you know there's water in there already. So just stick the chuck on and just get enough air through it to clear it. Then you hopefully don't soak everything when you take it apart.